Hi, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Kaitlyn Yates, one of the Student Success Coordinators here at UC. And today we're going to be doing a chat with our orientation staff. This is just part of them, just a few faces that you can put with names that you might have heard over the summer, but also that you will get to know really well this fall. I have a bunch of different majors represented, and today we want to just talk about academics here at UC. We want to talk through different majors that are opportunities here at UC. Making sure that you are involved in your department is so crucial to being a part of UC, and being a part of your classes in a way that gives you the opportunity to get to know people, maybe of different backgrounds, maybe of different thought processes than you. And this is a great place to do that. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started with talking about specific majors, but also how to be involved in your academic department. So I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves. I'm going to go ahead and have Chloe go ahead and introduce herself.
Hey everyone, my name is Chloe East and I'm a sophomore here at UC. I'm majoring in biology and minoring in Spanish, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Perfect. Thanks, Chloe. I'm going to have Hannah go ahead and start.
Hi guys, I'm Hannah Carrier. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm a communications major, an emphasis in strategic communication, and I have a minor in both business and art.
Awesome. Go ahead, Luke.
Hey guys, I'm Luke. I'm a junior here at UC. I'm a strategic communication major and a business minor, and I came here from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Go ahead, Trevor. Trevor, I think you're on mute.
Awkward.
No, it's okay.
As I was saying, hey guys, my name is Trevor, and I'm a senior at UC. My major is history and political science. I'm a double major, and I'm actually from Somerset, Kentucky.
Awesome. Cool. So also we want to just kind of talk through the fact that everybody kind of on here kind of came from a little bit of a different area of our region, I guess. We also have a lot of students that are international students that come to be a part of UC. We also have a lot of students from a long way away, like Wisconsin and California and a lot of different other places. So we're excited for you guys to be here. You guys all make up this great big family of UC. And so just because you're from out of state or away from our campus here locally doesn't mean that you're less a part of who we are. We're excited for you guys to meet our staff, but also for you as a student to meet other people from other backgrounds that might be different from you. So we're excited about that. So, all right. So first question I'm going to kind of pose to Chloe is, so her being a part of like the sciences field, I kind of want to just ask Chloe to kind of describe her transition from maybe her first thoughts of going into UC into transitioning into her academic department and how that transition went.
Yeah, so I came from a small high school where I was kind of like, I didn't necessarily have to study a whole lot in high school. It more came naturally. And so I was really worried coming to the Cumberland to be like, oh my goodness, these are college classes. This is like collegiate level learning. And so the transition in there, I was a nervous wreck. But the professors are so good at like laying out, especially going over syllabi, what they expect from you in your classes, and just being helpful with Learning Commons. There's the resource of being able to get a tutor if you're not understanding. And so like, that was one of the things that was hard for me, was realizing that everything's not gonna click for me going into this. And so I need to keep in mind that there are people, especially upperclassmen, who are willing to help you either through Learning Commons or just reaching out, making connections and making friends. and asking them like, okay, what's the best way for me to study for this class? But also your professors, like, if you, as long as you're respectful with them, and you really stay on top of your work, and like take notes in class, like they really will help you understand like how you need to be prepared for your tests and your quizzes, and just filling out their homework. They're clear with their expectations of you. And that's something that I really appreciated coming to UC, having those professors that are like, okay, yes, this is what I want from you, and just making sure that you're prepared for the quizzes that you have and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm thankful. Thank you for referring to the learning commons, because that's just a really good opportunity for any student to get extra assistance, extra help, or even if they, even if you feel like you're super confident in, your paper writing or, different things, you can always have somebody else kind of that's been is a few steps ahead of you. Go ahead and look through your paper or your project or anything else, just to make sure that everything looks good enough for the grade that you're expecting. So I think that's such a huge part of the support that UC has to offer students with their with academics, but also with just being able to have a student that's supportive of what you're trying to accomplish, which I think is so awesome. So thanks, Chloe. Let's go to Hannah. This is a question that we get a lot. What do I do if I transition out of a major into a different major? So if you are coming to UC and you're undecided, or even if you're like, I'm 100% on board with blank major, and you decide, maybe halfway through this year, or maybe at the end of your freshman year, man, this is not what I expected it to be. I really am enjoying something else. So Hannah has that experience, so I just wanted her to kind of share what that experience was like for her.
Yeah, so coming in as a freshman, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I came in undecided. I worked with Kaitlyn a lot. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing with my life. But I knew that I loved art, and I knew that I loved people. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of going towards like maybe counseling and like art therapy kind of thing. So I started taking some art classes. I hadn't really gotten to take psychology because I was taking some gen eds, and I absolutely loved it. I've almost completed my minor now. I'm taking so many classes in art. But then after about a year, I took my first psychology class, and a lot of stuff happened. I transitioned professors in the middle of the semester. It was crazy. But when it came down to it, like the content, I was just like, I don't really think that this is my spot. I don't think I really enjoy this. And so I was kind of back to square one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm going to do now, but I don't want to do that. So I started looking and just going through gen eds, and I ended up taking, what was it? I ended up taking a communications class. Interpersonal communication. And I loved it. It was with Professor Dickman, and he was so nice. And like, we all sat in like a circle. So it was kind of like a discussion-based class. And I figured out that I was like, well, this way I can talk to people too. Like, it's all about communicating with people. And so that's how I decided that I wanted to get into that. And it was super easy. I talked to Kaitlyn about what that took, and really I just needed to email the registrar and get my major switched up. I was a major in psychology and art, and now I'm a major in communications, but I still have a minor in art, and then I added business. And I'm looking more at a like marketing or graphic design kind of job. And I love it. I mean, it was really easy. The staff works with you, and you have advisors that help you map out what classes you need to take next. And so they were really helpful in finding me different advisors for different majors, or just letting me know how my course load changed as I changed from like a major to a minor. So yeah, they're a great resource too, in helping you figure out what that transition is going to look like.
Awesome. Yeah. And Hannah, the other thing that kind of we talked through was that, you didn't waste any time with your major and minor change. So like that is something that our student success team really wants to help you with, is to make sure that you're not wasting time with classes that you don't need. Yes, there's always going to be a class that, might not fit into this new world or this new, major or minor that you're thinking about, but those are credits towards graduation, which is really beneficial. Like, there are so many students that get through their major and their minor and they're like, I need one more class. Oh no, I have to take yoga, something like that. And so this really gives you guys the opportunity to kind of go in and out of majors, so that you can figure it out. And so don't feel like you're stuck once you get here and you're like, oh no, this is terrible, I hate this, or this is not what I expected, or this is something I'm so much more passionate about than I ever thought. And it's just a gen ed, like I'm taking a history class and wow, this is a really awesome class and I really enjoy researching. Great, well, let's get you into something that you can do that and thrive these 4 years, but also, with a career. So definitely don't feel scared to ask questions. Don't feel like you can't change your mind. College is about changing your mind and about getting into what you're passionate about. And so we're here to help to do that. So awesome. Thanks, Hannah. Let's go ahead and talk to Trevor. Trevor is a senior coming into this fall. So I'll have him talk about his transition this whole 4 years that he's been here. But also, Trevor, tell us about kind of your thoughts coming into your freshman year and kind of some advice maybe for freshmen of what you would say, how to get involved in your department.
Okay. Kind of like Chloe, I wouldn't say that my high school was necessarily small, but I mean, compared to like a larger city, it'd be small because my town isn't massive. But it's definitely interesting going from high school to college because you're expecting it to be so much harder than it really is, because you see everything on these TV shows and movies that college is just you're constantly studying and you fall asleep on your desk, stuff like that. But like she said, the professors are there to help you, and if you really put the effort in, you're going to succeed. So that was like one of the biggest things that I was worried about as a freshman is, oh, am I actually cut out for college? And the answer is most of the time you are, if you put your mind to it. It doesn't matter what you got on your ACT, whatever. As long as you do the work, you're gonna succeed. So that's definitely one thing that I've learned since being a freshman is that it does take work. It takes a lot of work, especially in the history and political science department, where I'm constantly writing papers and having to read massive sized books just for those papers. But within my department, my professors are constantly trying to help me. Like, for instance, one of my professors, his name is Dr. Smith. Whenever we have a test set, he will invite us over to his house for a dinner so that we can specifically study for that test. That I don't know where else you're going to find that, but that's pretty cool. He also puts on departmental barbecues, and we go to that in the fall and the spring. There's Phi Alpha Theta, which is the History Honor Society. We take trips. We bring in speakers to come on campus. So there's just a whole lot that we do in the department. And not only do the professors encourage you to be involved, but so do your classmates. I know a previous orientation leader, her name was Shelby. She recently graduated. She was always constantly trying to get me to do things, trying to get me involved and help me out and stuff like that. So, I mean, especially in your freshman year, I wasn't very active in either on-campus activities or in my department, but I realized that it was kind of boring to do that. It's so much more fun to get involved, whether that be in a different club like orientation leaders or being in Res Life, or being in campus ministries, anything, just anything that can get you active, or in your department. I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, and I think the miscommunication, I guess, sometimes with like you said, like the perception of college or the perception of like how you are to get involved. It doesn't just have to be athletics. It doesn't just have to be, going to, grab, pizza with friends on the weekends. Like that's not the only way to get involved here on our campus. At UC, our departments are really involved with you, and they want to make sure that you're prepared and ready for your career, but also that you're growing as a person. Like it's not just about, oh, let's get you through this class and let's move you on to the next thing. It's really like, okay, these are the people that are going to write you recommendation letters someday. They're going to be, cheering you on when you get your first big job, those types of things. So I think that our academic department do a really good job of supporting that, supporting that that person that you are. So I definitely think that's awesome. Trevor, I think your departments they're so active, and they want you guys to be involved with so much stuff. So if you're if you're watching this and you're unsure about a major, definitely at least stop by the history and political science department, because they're just like there and ready to receive you. So yeah. So Luke, for your question, I know you have a little bit of a different experience being from out of state, and kind of, diving into the world of academics, but also athletics. And so if you could kind of talk about kind of your transition from being from Wisconsin to being here on campus, maybe knowing one or two people, but not too many, and how that transition kind of transpired, that would be great.
Yeah, so it was definitely a lot different of a transition than I know it was for a lot of the students who are coming from just Kentucky. But I definitely didn't know pretty much anybody coming in. I mean, I knew my track coach. I knew my roommate after that first day and getting to chat with him. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends, which no shame at first for sure. And I didn't get myself involved outside of track for my first semester, and that was probably my biggest mistake coming in. But once I was able to get myself involved on campus, specifically with orientation leader, and even within my major, as I have more of those major specific classes and I get to see all these kids more often, it was a world of difference. And I was really able to find my community here. And like I said in a video we did for orientation later, it's kind of what changed UC from just being my school. We're getting an education, and it really just became my home for sure. But speaking to like the transition specifically and like my thoughts academically, I can really echo a lot of what Trevor said. I definitely came in with a lot of expectations of this is going to be crazy. My teachers in high school definitely hyped up college a lot. Anytime we make any mistakes or something in class, it'd be like, well, in college it's going to be like cutthroat, all this stuff. And so I was definitely scared big time. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air to get in the classroom and to get to know my professors, because all of them that I've had, they're definitely here to help you and to get you to learn. They're not over there with a whip trying to get their grade class average up, but they really do care, and that's something that I've always appreciated. And it was definitely just a breath of fresh air. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think just because you are, an athlete or coming from, far away, doesn't mean that you can't still be involved with your academic department. We don't hoard people here at Cumberland. We want to make sure that they're involved with what they want to be involved in. And so if you want it, you can find it here at Cumberland. So I think there's definitely, a place for, academics and, study nights and all of that, but there's also time for hey, let's hang out as a class and go get some food at Pete's. You know, like there's definitely that camaraderie within your classes. And you're not going to love every single class that you have here at Cumberland. We're not trying to say that, but you will definitely find people in your classes that you can build relationships with, build bonds with, and even if it's your commonality is that you're in a gen ed and you're like, I don't care about this class, that's okay, because somebody else in that class is feeling the same way. Getting through that class is, could build a relationship with one another. So, so definitely know that people are here to support you. I guess that's pretty much a common thing that we've all talked about. There's people here to support you. Academic departments are not lame, like maybe you would think they were. They are here to get you involved with what you want to be involved in and support you to be a part of a career or a job opportunity or an internship opportunity that you can thrive in. So we definitely want that too. And it's a good place. Academic departments are a good place to find people that kind of have similar desires or passions as you do. They might not be your best friends forever and always, but they're going to be friends that are going to get you through this 4 years and help you kind of challenge you even. Like Trevor was saying, with someone else in his department, was challenging him to be a part of his department more and more. And, like Hannah was saying, like, our student success coordinators here are helpful. We call ourselves neutral. We are about you. And so we want to make sure that we're supporting you with whatever goals and aspirations you have. So, so for sure. So reaching out to those people in your life, in your UC journey is definitely important. So we've got a couple minutes left. Do you guys have any like closing thoughts? Like, maybe your favorite class that you've taken here at UC.
Yeah, I could add something real fast. I was just going to say real quick,